Hey, South Hills. As you know, we are one church in many locations, and in the month of September, we launched South Hills, Virginia. And today, I have the privilege of being able to introduce to you our South Hills, Virginia campus pastor, Chris Cooper. I want him to take a moment, introduce himself to you, share a little bit about who he is and what's going on at our South Hills, Virginia campus.
Awesome. Thanks, Moses. Well, as Moses said, we're the campus pastors. I'm the campus pastor, but when I say campus pastors, my wife and I really lead the church together. She's a marriage and family therapist who's just a wealth of resource in caring for people. I've been a chaplain for 22 years, and we have a big military community there. So what was really cool is we do our grand opening. My concern was, will any unchurched people come? I mean, that's our mission, right? To reach out to unchurched people. But a young man comes walking in, and we get to talking and find out he doesn't know Christ. He's never been to church. He says, I just met some of your people at the coffee house playing a game night, and they invited me, and I just wanted to have community and family. And that's the kind of family we're building in Virginia. And we've had a lot of good stories like that. But one thing I want to express today to you and to everyone is thank you for supporting us. A launch is a lot to do, it's expensive, and you have my personal guarantee we're going to do everything we can to make sure that's turned into a fruitful ministry in Yorktown, Virginia.
South Hills, I just hope that you continue to pray for Pastor Cooper, his wife Stephanie, South Hills, Virginia campus, and as they continue to invest in this community. This is what we're all about, to be able to reach people in the community, let them know that there is a God who loves them, wants to be a part of their life, and that they can start a relationship with Jesus and start to grow in that personal relationship with God.
Any movie buffs out there? Anybody love to just go escape and watch the movies? Yeah? Why do we love to go escape and watch the movies? We like to live vicariously through these heroes. We love it. In fact, guys, here's the thing. When we see these movies, we see a little bit of ourselves in these movies. We see Braveheart, we're like, yes. Gladiator, yes. Rocky, The Karate Kid, even some more fun movies like 9 to 5 or The Secret of My Success or The Bad News Bears. And we watch these movies and we're like, yes. Because these guys are coming, they're moving forward even when everything looks lost. And they're still pushing forward and they're sticking it to the man and they're actually doing that. And I think we watch those movies and go, wow, I wish I could do that. And the question is then, if you wish you could do that, should you do that? And if you should do that, if you should stand up for what you believe, if you should go and accomplish your goals, then the next best question is, why aren't you? Why aren't you accomplishing that? Why are you admiring those people on the screen watching all the great things they're doing, but how come I'm not doing any of those things? The short answer is this, guys. It's not enough to know what's most important. You have to say no to what's not. It's not enough to know what's most important. You have to say no to what's not. Okay, so many of us are so busy, we just don't have time to say no to anything. We're just like, well, I'm so busy, I guess I'll just take on another thing and everybody will keep liking me. Now, do we have any pleasers here? You don't have to raise your hand, okay. I love pleasers that are like, you want me to raise my hand? Because I'll raise my hand if you want me to. If not, then it's okay. Here's the thing with pleasers, guys. Pleasers are great. They are loving. They are the best. They are the best. And they genuinely love. So when they do a favor for you, they genuinely love you and they do a favor for you. But I would love to say, and I have a tendency to do this as well, I would love to say that all of our motivation comes from love. However, it doesn't. Most of the motivation, if we're being honest, comes from fear. Fear of now, what if I'm going to let them down? What if they don't like me anymore? What if they don't invite me anymore? What if they don't want to talk to me anymore? What if they think I've changed? What if they don't include me in all the things that they were going to be doing? Well, what if I miss out? We see this at work and at home in some of our relationships. And what happens is sometimes if you're a pleaser and you're doing everything for everybody, when you see that person's name on your phone, you don't even want to answer it. Because you know you're going to say yes to whatever they're asking, and you don't have the time and the effort and the energy. You're like, I don't want to do this. And it gives you all that anxiety. Guys, if that's you and if you're a pleaser, remember this. You can either say no and regret it for a few minutes, or say yes and regret it for days, weeks, months, or even years. Now, see, here's the thing. If you keep saying yes, those people will still have that control over you, and you'll still be regretting it. And it's not going to be very fun for you in your life. And here's what happens to a lot of us. We become cynical and angry. So we get mad that person keeps asking us to do these things, and then we get mad. And then we start saying bad things about that person. And I can't believe that person's making me do this again. And they're so annoying. And I can't stand them. And I wish they would just leave me alone. But you're the one who's saying yes. You know, I was like, I wish they would just stop abusing me. Then say no. You have the right to say no. It's okay. But a lot of times, guys, we don't want to say no. We keep saying yes, and then we end up getting upset for the people that are asking us when really we're the ones that could have said no in the first place, guys. Now, the natural question is, how come I can't say no from the beginning? I wish I could just say no in the beginning. It doesn't really work that way, guys, and there's actually a term for this. It's called the sunk cost bias. The sunk cost bias. It's the tendency to continue sinking time, money, or energy into something we know won't succeed because we're already in deep, okay? So this could be in your relationships. It could be in your finances. So how do we say no resolutely and gracefully? What does that look like, guys? And now listen, again, if you're a pleaser, you're not a bad person. You really do want everybody to be happy around you. But understand this, pleasers. When you start learning how to say no, not everybody's going to be excited about your newfound freedom. Okay, just remember that. They're not going to be excited. They're going to say, hey, you've changed. You used to be so nice. I thought you loved me. I thought we were family. I thought you really cared. I thought that I could trust you. They're going to kind of say things like that to say, I don't like this newfound freedom that you have. I don't understand what's going on here. So some people may not like that your newfound freedom. Now, listen, guys, this escalates in stages, and we're going to go quickly over these stages. But that's why we're studying the life of Nehemiah, because you could see Nehemiah says, I'm going to rebuild that wall. I'm good at it. It meets a need. God made me for this moment. But know this, whenever you set out to do what God's asked you to do, it's going to be met with problems and issues. The first one is doubt. You're going to have doubt. Nehemiah 4:1 says this, when Sanballat heard that they were rebuilding the wall, he became angry and was greatly incensed as he ridiculed the Jews. And in the presence of his associates and the army of Samaria, he said, what are those feeble Jews doing? Will they restore their wall? Will they offer sacrifices? Will they finish in a day? Can they bring the stones back to life from those heaps of rubble burned as they are? Tobiah an Ammonite, who was at his side, said, what are they building? Even a fox climbing up on it would break down their wall of stones. You're going to have doubts, guys. It's going to happen. Listen, I have a affinity and a special place in my heart for single moms because I had a single mom. And I'm not saying that single dads have it easy, but it's tough. Single moms have a very difficult time. And it was at a time where my parents had just gotten divorced, and my mom had given my dad, she paid him out for this business that they were in. And which meant we had nothing left. We had no money left. And my mom said, okay, I'm going to get the business going again. And it was met with a lot of doubt, because my dad had a very significant role in that business. It was very significant. And my grandparents also owned a business. And they said, you know what, just sell that place and come work with us and we'll take care of everything. But my mom said, no, I'm a smart person. I'm a strong person. I'm going to trust God. And the thing that got her past those doubts, guys, and why I'm so passionate about the church and why I'm so passionate about women in the church is because during that time, What got her through that was her women's ministry. She had a ton of doubts. She would show up to her women's ministry in tears. I've got kids. I've got bills. I don't know if this is going to work. And the women's ministry continued to be there for her and pray for her and walk her along through that journey. And I'm not just saying this because we talked about budget earlier as this part of my point. One of the things I would say is, why do you keep tithing? We don't have any, what are you doing? She goes, James, what you don't understand is we would have absolutely nothing if it wasn't for God. This isn't hard for me to do. This is very easy for me to do because I'm going to trust him. I'm going to show you that trusting God is going to pay off in the end. Trust me. I know he's going to take care of us. I don't know how. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to work out just fine. And I want to make sure that ministry that helped me is helping other people as well. So that's why I give it to that church. And that church, by the way, that little church is still there that many years later. Okay? She pushed through the doubt. And it didn't even take more than a year, maybe a year and a half. That business was twice as successful as when my dad was there. That's not to say that my dad was dragging the business down. That's to say that's what it looks like when you literally trust God with everything. That's what it looks like. It was an example. Just push through the doubt. She said, listen, I am not going to have anybody tell me I can't do this. I'm not going to have an ex-husband, a man, a society, a culture tell me that I can't do this. I am a strong, professional woman who is more than capable of doing this, and I'm going to trust my Lord to get it done. And she did it. That's how she moved forward. But she got to press through the doubt. You're going to also have, guys, resistance. It's going to happen. Nehemiah 4:7 says, but when Sanballat, Tobiah, and the Arabs, the Ammonites, and the people of Ashdod heard that the repairs to Jerusalem's wall had gone ahead and that the gaps were being closed, they were very angry. They all plotted together to come and fight against Jerusalem and stir up trouble against it. Church, you're going to have resistance. It's going to happen. Guys, when we started this church, many of you remember the carpet squares, right? Those things were 15 pounds each, and you had to lay carpet squares across the whole thing. And then we had stages and all sorts of other things, and it was labor intensive. And then COVID happens, and then we're in the living rooms. And by the way, guys, speaking of budgets, when we first went to COVID and all the lockdowns, Pastor Moses called me and said, hey, James, I don't want to stress you out, but your church is faithful givers. I'm like, why does that stress me out? But they're faithful givers in person. 60% of your church gives in person, 40% gives online. You're not going to be able to meet anymore. So that means the budget's all going to be cut down. I sent one message to the church. Here's the deal. Immediately, we had basically 100% online giving. That's the character of this church. All right, so there's going to be problems. There's going to be things that come up, and you've got to continue to know there is resistance. Guys, most churches don't succeed. There are thousands of churches closing. This Sunday, there will be a church that's closed in America somewhere. You got to push through the resistance. You just have to. It's not going to be easy. Nobody's going to hand it to you. God, we trust you. Do you? We do. Are you sure? We do. Show me. Show me you do. Show up. Trust me. Serve. Give, plan, pray, vision, have it, trust me. Which brings us to the next one, guys. Once we make some difficult decisions, you're going to also have some fallout. Nehemiah 4:10, meanwhile, the people in Judah, the strength of the laborers is giving out, and there is so much rubble that we cannot rebuild the wall. Guys, know this. When you take a bold step forward, you're going to have people that don't like your decision, okay? Why are you going to have people in your life that don't like your decision? Why are you going to have people in your life that don't like the new you that says no to certain things? Because the way you've reorganized your life impacts others in ways that inconvenience them. So when you reorganize your life for something that's better for you, it's going to cause an inconvenience to somebody else that was used to you saying yes all the time, and that's going to cause some issues with them. Guys, as the pastor of this church, I had to make a lot of really tough calls, okay? A lot. South Hills is very cool about giving us a ton of freedom and leeway. Moses is very big on letting his pastors lead, okay? There are certain things that we definitely need to do all as one church, but ultimately he's like, hey, you use your best judgment. I trust you. And there's a lot of decisions that I've had to make, and people didn't like. When we started this church, we said we want to be a church for the unchurched. We want to have a church family. I want the people to know who I am. I want the people to know the pastor, and I never want to stop growing. I want to make sure that we continue to reach more for Jesus. Well, not everybody's going to like that. Some people are going to say, I liked it the old way, where we had just like it was like this, and I like that better. That's great. I'm glad you liked it, but that doesn't meet our overall vision. Overall vision is to keep reaching more people for Jesus. That's the goal. That's what I'm going to do the rest of my life until I go to heaven. I'm going to reach as many people as I can for him. Okay? And the church is the best way to do it. So that's what we're going to keep doing. There was other, that includes making tough decisions. COVID was very difficult. This political climate we're in is very difficult. People get their feelings hurt extremely quickly if you don't agree with what they're going to say or do. I mean, during COVID, I literally had somebody contact me and said, I'm not coming to church in person because of COVID. Great, that's fine, no problem, watch online. I noticed somebody wasn't wearing a mask. If you don't tell that person to leave, if they're not going to wear a mask, I will never come to your church again. I was like, I can't kick somebody out of church for not wearing a mask. I'm sorry. I know that might be offensive to people today, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to kick somebody out of church for that. Okay? That person didn't like it. Well, you're basically responsible for killing people. We're never coming to your church again. Here's the part that hurt. I was with those people in their darkest times. Some of those people, I was there at their hospital when they had surgeries. I was there to counsel them when they were going through marital problems. I was there to be there to pray with them when they were having struggles in their private lives. And then for them to go, well, you know what? You just don't care. It's like, are you kidding me? But that's going to hurt the overall goal. Guys, when we move to our new church, you're going to have people that don't look like you, don't dress like you, don't vote like you, don't have your same Bible knowledge. But the goal is to get as many people as we can to know who Jesus is. That's the goal. My goal is not to get everybody to look like me, dress like me, or vote like me. My goal is to get them to know who Jesus is. Period. As many as we can. And if that rubs people the wrong way, then they don't have to stay. They can go somewhere else where everybody looks the same. And they all sing the same songs, they know the same people, and they have the same little club, and they can go through life. That's great. That's not us. We're going to keep pushing the envelope because that's the vision. And people aren't going to like it. And the part that hurts is some of those people, I was there to pastor them. It's so funny when I hear some of these people go, well, are you going to talk about this particular politician or that particular, or this policy or that policy? And if you don't talk about them, we're not coming to your church anymore. Okay. But you're not looking for a pastor, you're looking for a political pundit. Because what you're telling me is, literally this person goes, Pastor so-and-so in Virginia Beach, that we're just watching him now, from now on. Because he really sticks it to those people. Really? What's he like? What are you talking about? Well, what's he like? Well, I don't know. You don't know? Can you talk to him? No, you can't talk to him. Can you meet with him? No, there's thousands of people. How am I supposed to meet with him? Plus, church in Virginia. Got it. You don't want a pastor. You don't. You just want some sort of a megaphone person that's going to reiterate all of the stuff that you want, right? Okay. Every time I felt down and bad and hurt, I always thought, you know what? God, show me what you want me to do. And every time I could actually see the reinforcements. I would get a phone call or a text or an email or just some sort of an encouraging note. Reinforcements are coming, guys. Trust me. That's part of the stage. Nehemiah 4:13, therefore I stationed some of the people behind the lowest points of the wall at the exposed places, posting them by families with their swords, spears, and bows. Guys, you're going to have reinforcements. These are going to be people that remind you why you chose this course of action and why it inspires you and why you're gifted to do it and why it's worth staying focused for. God has put something on each of your hearts. And the sad part to me is some of us have just thought it's too hard. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not talking to you guys because you guys are the ones that are actually braving Stormwatch 2024, right? So you're actually here. But I'm saying there's a lot of people that God's put something on their heart. It's just too hard. I can't do it. It's too hard. Starting a church is too hard. I can't. This is too tough. This is going to be too difficult. I can't do it. Guys, there will be that doubt, but don't give up on it. Don't give up on it. Make a plan, ignore the doubt, push through the resistance and the fallout. Understand reinforcements are coming. In other words, say no to the distractions. Guys, building a better tomorrow requires you to have a system for saying no today. You have to have a system. You have to have something in place. Otherwise, you're going to say yes to everything. You're going to be stressed out and burned out. And you're going to say, life's too tough. Nobody cares about me. I guess I'll go eat worms or whatever. Okay, so here is a cheat sheet on how you can say no gracefully. 1, separate the decision from the relationship. Okay? Some people are going to leverage your relationship with them to get you to do what they want. You have to know to say, listen, it's not personal. I don't personally hate you. I love you. I care about you. I just can't do that. You're asking me to do something that I can't do. I appreciate you, but don't take it personal. The next one is calculate the cost of saying yes. If I say yes to this, what am I going to have to give up? Because I can't do everything. So if I say yes, what else has to go? That means honestly saying no to something maybe that you really liked to say yes to something that might be something that you're really going to be more of your passion. That's going to happen, okay? 3 is prioritize your needs over their wants. Guys, that's not being selfish. It's making wise boundaries for yourself. 4, pursue respect over popularity. Make your yes be yes and make your no be no. They will respect that. Okay? And then say no without saying no. Now you might think, what does that even mean? That's a lot of word salad. I don't understand what that means. You can say things like, listen, I love to. Explain to them why you can't. Let me check my calendar. I don't know if I can. Maybe let me check and let me get back to you. You could use humor with it. You could do other things with it. You could say, let them know. Hey, this is what I got to do that day. You tell me what needs to go. If you can find something that needs to go, then I'll do it. Help them out. So just kind of, I can't do it, but maybe somebody else would be. Okay? In short, guys, you do need to build some healthy boundaries. Now, here's the thing, and I'm talking to us Christians here. I have seen Christians, people in the church, abuse their position in the church or God to get somebody to do what they want them to do. Okay? So I've seen people say, well, it could be anything. It could be like, I need you to help me to move. Okay? I need you to help me to move on Saturday. I would love to, but I can't. I got a Little League game. And you call yourself a Christian? Doesn't the Bible say that you're supposed to help those in need? Look at my bracelet. It says WWJD. What would Jesus do? Have you ever had the Christians? Well, you're supposed to be a Christian and you're not going to do this? What would WWJD? If they do that to you, I want you to say, that's a great point. Let's look it up. Let's see what Jesus would do. Matthew 16:23 says, Jesus turned and said to Peter, get behind me, Satan. You're a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns. That's what he would do, okay? That's what he did do. Now, I'm not suggesting calling your friend Satan or anything like that. That could be a little bit problematic. But here's what he's saying. That's my goal, that's my vision, and you're trying to get me to do the easy way and not stick to the vision. No. You're trying to intimidate me, you're trying to manipulate me. In this case, Peter was just trying to be a nice guy and go, hey, that's a problem, let's go this way. He's like, no. I don't want the easy way, I don't want that path, I want that path, and do not get in my way. A lot of times, guys, we look at Jesus as, we make him too wimpy. Right? He's like some little hippie guy that just kind of walks around and pats kids on the head and stuff like that. Jesus was awesome. Can you believe that? He's like, listen, guys, we're going to change the world. Who's with me? I'll be with you. Great. Take up your cross. Follow me. This isn't going to be easy. Let's do it. And he's telling his buddy, you don't have my best interest in mind, and you need to take a break. He didn't hate Peter. He didn't stop loving Peter. He told Peter, you're going to be the rock I'm going to build my church on. He just says, right now, you're a stumbling block. You need to get out of the way. Okay? We're going to end with this, guys. I want everybody to close their eyes right now. And I want you to picture in your mind somebody who has been there for you in a really cool way. They could be alive or not. But somebody in your life, in your past or your present, that they just impacted your life in an incredible way. Now, as long as you have that person in your mind, know this. That person had to say no to certain things to be there for you in your time of need. That person had to push through the trials, the doubts, and the setbacks to have that kind of impact on your life. Now I'm going to leave you with this. Who, when asked that same question, when they close their eyes, is going to think about you? Who is? Maybe simply saying no might help someone summon the courage to say their own no. Maybe it's saying no to something during the weekends, guys. Maybe think about, you don't have to keep your eyes closed. Maybe it could be somebody on the weekend. Hey, James, let's go. I got some these cool passes to this exclusive cool golf course. It's on Sunday morning. We got to go. Hey, man, I'd love to. Maybe we make it happen on a Saturday, but I got church on Sunday morning, and I'm not going to miss it. Hey, why don't you come with me to church? They might not say yes to the invitation, but boy, what an invitation. What a cool testimony. Right there and then, you've just told that person, that's what I prioritize. That's important to me. I'm not going to schedule something else just because it seems cooler or funner or sexier. I'm going to do this because this really means more to me. How about somebody saying, hey, telling you, hey, I got tickets to go see The Lion King or whatever on this Friday. And you go, yeah, that's awesome. Great seats. But I promised my family that we were going to have movie night. You could watch a movie anytime. That's true. But I promised them it was going to be this Friday. And that's what I got to commit to. That tells them what your priorities are, guys. That's it. Guys, if God's going to tell us to change the world, and that's what he's told us, and he says, I'm going to give you my spirit to do it, then that's going to take a whole lot of energy to do. And you're going to need that, okay? You're not just going along with what everybody tells you to do, guys. You might be liked for a moment by them, but you're not doing what you've been called to do. Every one of you guys have been called to do something big for the kingdom. You have. You have. And as Christ followers, guys, you don't need to stand up here and give a message once a week to do that. Maybe it's just you simply saying yes and no to the right things to be an incredible witness to somebody else. But make no mistake, guys, people are watching you. People are watching you. They're watching you, how do I handle this, or what do I do that? Maybe you need to learn how to say yes to the right things and no to the wrong, and watch how that inspires those around you. Let's pray. Father, I thank you so much, God, for just having these folks coming in this morning. It's cold and rainy, and God, I just thank you that they're here. I thank you that for the people that are watching online, guys, God, that they're part of this church as well, and having some fun teasing this morning. But ultimately, God, everybody is part of growing this church. They have an important part of it. God, you gave a vision to grow your church, to introduce you to as many people as we can. And that's what we're going to do, God. And along the way, people aren't going to like it. It's going to rub people the wrong way. But Father God, help us never to stop focusing on you as our authority, focusing on you as the leader of this church, God. Help us to always humbly get on our knees and humbly ask you what it is that you want us to do. And if it means saying no to things that sound really good, but are taking us away from what you want us to do, then help us to summon the courage to say no to it and say yes to what you want us to do. Father God, you have big plans. And we could say all we want that we believe those plans, God, but I know you're saying, good, then show me. So God, help us to just continue to show you that we trust you by what we agree to and what we don't agree to. We love you, God, and we thank you for this opportunity to just to have church here in this Sunday morning, God. We love you. It's in your name.
I just want to take a moment and say thank you for watching our service online, whether you're watching it for the first time or you're watching it again because you enjoyed the service so much from the weekend. I'd like to take a moment and dive into our giving. Every week we give people the opportunity to give back and give to the local church so that God can continue to bless your lives and bless your finances. Here at South Hills, we believe that everything comes from God. We believe that He's the one that chose us and brought us into this world, gave gave us our gifts and talents and abilities. And I just want you to know that when we give, we are giving back what God has already given to us. If you've ever seen any of our envelopes at a South Hills campus, you'll see on there that it says, every week at South Hills, your generosity is giving people the opportunity to live a better story. And there's a scripture on there in Matthew chapter 6, verse 21 that says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So I want to encourage you today to click down below and set up your giving, whether it's for the first time or whether you're doing reoccurring giving. We have 4 ways to give here at South Hills. 1, you can do it in person at any of our campuses through an envelope. Or 2, you can actually text any amount that you would like to 84321. And the 3rd way is to download our Church Center app. I encourage you to do this one because the Church Center app gives you opportunity to stay connected with our church and your campuses. It's a great tool and resource for you to know what's going on. And the 4th way to give is to give online. You can go to southhills.org/give and you can set up your giving there. Whether you're a guest of our church or whether you are a member of our church, or whether you simply just like to watch our services, I encourage you to trust God with your finances so that He can bless and anoint your finances, and you can be trusting God in this journey of living life to the fullest. I love you, and thank you for watching our online service today.